Number 9, Big Clayton Mills, the Morley Mauler. Number 6, Robert Woodward. Number T, Greg Tayama from Adelaide. Number A, Stephen Gall from the St George's Motorcycle Club in Sydney, New South Wales. Number 51 there, Peter Cooper. Number 182, Johnny McCarthy from Mandurah. Number 0, Neville Cutts. Number 4, Brad Thompson from Collie. Number 57 there is Clinton Jakovich. 479 in the back row there. So they're the riders now in the hands of the starter, Richard Dixon. And we'll be getting ourselves a start in this event number 14, the first leg of the King of the Cross, over 8 laps. Off and racing now, and the first one to jump out was number 8, Trevor Williams from Victoria. Woo! He's going for it. He got himself a slingshot. Oh, look at this into the first turn. Second place, this is around West Australia, Robert Woodward. Fourth place now, Andrew Bailey. And Jimmy is now coming. Don't cross the track, please. There is still race racing.
This year, 2023, the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club celebrates its 50th anniversary. What an incredible achievement for a remote mining town community, which is situated 370 kilometres east of Perth in Western Australia with a population of around 700 people. Congratulations to past and present members and anyone who has been associated with the club during that time. Just 2 years after being established in 1973, the club built its circuit at Carnicella Park on a mining site in Southern Cross and staged the first King of the Cross. It was an immediate success and became one of the biggest events on the national motocross calendar, held annually on the first weekend in August in the 1970s and 80s for more than 15 years. During that time, more than 30 international and national riders competed, all vying to be the king and win that gold bar, a special prize that made the event unique. Mr. Motocross legends Anthony Gunter and Stephen Gall from New South Wales regularly contested the King of the Cross, along with other national champions Vaughan Style, Victorian Trevor Williams, WA legends Neville Cutts, 3 times King of the Cross Graham Smythe from Kalgoorlie, and up-and-coming sensation Jeff Leask. Big prize money was on offer to competitors in all classes, including the juniors and sidecar. According to Australian legend, Mr. Motocross and 5 times national champion Stephen Gall, the King of the Cross was one of the nation's best events.
The King of the Cross for 1980, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Stephen Gall.
Stephen, congratulations. I don't know how you do it. Every time you got on that bike, you were way up there in front and going all day. And 150 miles of grueling stuff what you went through, you certainly deserve it. Well done.
Thanks very much. Well, there's a lot of people I'd like to thank, especially Southern Cross Club and Bob Cousins and everyone else for their tireless effort they put in every year for this meeting. I honestly think that this is one of the best meetings all year that we go to. We travel to a lot of meetings here, there and everywhere, and this is a really good one.
Well, did you know that? No, well, I didn't know that I'd won. When I crossed the line, well, I was just happy that I'd won the last race and proved that I could win down here. But when Bob Cousins flashed the gold bar at me as I came past the start-finish line, then I knew that I was tremendously happy because I didn't compete.
At its peak in the 1980s, the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club only had around 30 members. But club co-founder Bob Cousins turned the King of the Cross into a community event and drew support from members, his family, other clubs, officials, sponsors, and the media. When Cousins stepped down from his official positions with the club in the mid-80s, the event slowly but noticeably declined until the King of the Cross during that era ended. Australian motocross legend Glenn Bell and American expatriate Eddie Warren won the final two events, which were staged at the club's new circuit. Originally named the Richie Kings Memorial Circuit after motocross legend and club co-founder Richie Kings, its official name now is Southern Cross Motorcycle Park to reflect on and respect all past and present members and volunteers from the Southern Cross community who have been involved within the club over the 50 years of its running. The club remained active during the 1990s, running local events for senior and junior motocross. But during this period, more emphasis was placed on enduros as most of its members are farmers and experienced trail bike riders. However, at the turn of the century, the club made a big effort to resurrect the King of the Cross. While not reaching the heights of the 1970s and 1980s, the event again attracted the nation's best motocross riders, drawing visitors to Southern Cross from all over Australia between 2002 and 2011. Multiple national junior and senior motocross champion Lee Hogan won the 2002 King of the Cross, with 4 times Australian champion and international rider Jay Marmont winning the event 3 times between 2004 and 2011. Running a national event was expensive, so from here on the club opted to focus more on enduros, Pony Express events and trials, which were more profitable. The move paid off and club membership is now thriving and continues to grow, with the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club now reaching over 200 members who participate in junior and senior motocross and enduro events. The club's 2-day enduro has become a major annual event and now attracts up to 150 riders, generating excellent revenue for its members. This new-look focus on enduros sets the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club up nicely for the future. Recognition must be given to the co-founders, Western Australian motocross legend Richie Kings and Bob Cousins, who was the owner of the Railway Tavern in Southern Cross. When Kings and his family moved from Northam to Southern Cross, the pair got together and decided to build the circuit, which was named after Eric Carnicelli. Eric was from the Fraser's Gold Mining Company and leased the site to the club. Richie looked after the circuit, Cousins became the event manager, and with support from motorcycle dealer, the late Clem Nunn, they orchestrated the staging of the first King of the Cross in August 1975.
You got to do things to bring people into a little town, you know. And to do what we did, you know, I'm not saying it was an easy task, but it brought money to town, it brought people to town, it brought kudos to town, and it gave something back into the sport.
From the beginning, the club had a vision of establishing an event of national significance, an event that would draw nationwide attention to Western Australia and, in particular, Southern Cross. To achieve this, the club put up big prize money for all classes and funded the travel costs for the nation's top motocross riders through sponsorship. And the formula worked, with the event becoming bigger each year. Because the club was small, Cousins made the King of the Cross a true community event, collaborating with the Kalgoorlie Motorcycle Club, motorcycling officials, sponsors and the media. When the King of the Cross was at its peak during the early 1980s, the population of Southern Cross increased from 700 up to 5,000 people. The racing was exciting and the event became the Bathurst for motocross, with thousands making the annual pilgrimage to Southern Cross and camping at the track as there was limited accommodation nearby. But instead of being the King of the Mountain, the riders were vying for King of the Cross. What made this event so unique was that the top riders would compete for big prize money, and a bar of gold, which in some years was valued up to $3,000, around $10,000 in today's gold prices. In 1983 and 1984, the bar was manufactured from gold nuggets actually recovered from the circuit, with the lucky rider Vaughan Styles from New South Wales winning back-to-back King of the Cross events these years. Over the years, the total prize money continued to increase, reaching $10,000 in the mid-80s. To coincide with Western Australia's 150-year anniversary in 1979, the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club went all out and made the event an international event. To celebrate Way 79, 5-time Scottish champion Jim Aird was contracted to race the King of the Cross. He was joined by Jimmy Ellis and another famous American, the late Marty Motes. Sidecar racing was always fast and furious on the hard Carnosella Park circuit, and during the 1980s we saw many national sidecar teams compete, as well as 2 internationals. In 1984, reigning world sidecar-cross champion Emil Bohlholder from Switzerland toured down under with South Australian passenger Russell Ellis, winning the Sidecar King of the Cross. Then the following year, 3 times runner-up world sidecar-cross champions Josef Brockhausen and Hubert Rabiel also competed in Southern Cross. During the late 1980s, we saw a changing of the guard with Craig Dack, Glenn Bell, and American expatriate Eddie Warren, now Australia's top motocross riders, with all 3 winning the King of the Cross. Dack was the last rider to win the event at Carnosella Park, with Bell and Warren winning at the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club's brand new circuit in 1988 and 1989. The purpose-built venue featured brick clubrooms and a timing tower, replacing the iconic F-Troop tin tower, which became synonymous with the King of the Cross at the former gold mining site. In the 1990s, the big names to contest the King of the Cross included Australian champions Kim Ashkenazi from New South Wales and WA riders who all moved interstate to further their racing careers, including Dale Britton, Jason Marshall, the late Paul Brumfield, and Lee Hogan, who permanently moved to Victoria. Hogan won the 2002 event. Dean Porter won in 2009, going on to race in America in the 2011 AMA Motocross Championships, and another Australian with international experience, Jay Marmont from New South Wales, winning the King of the Cross 3 times, with his last in 2011. The last King of the Cross was contested in 2017, with the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club now concentrating on its very successful enduro events. Running a national event is a big job, just ask Bob Cousins. But it is a big commitment and requires big financial backing. So with major sponsorship and strong support from club members, the local community and motorcycle industry, the club is open to running the iconic King of the Cross into the future. Without question, race organizer and Southern Cross Motorcycle Club secretary Bob Cousins was the driving force behind the success of the King of the Cross event in the 1970s and 1980s. Nicknamed Reverend Cousins by track commentator Con Migro, Cousins and his family and supporters put in tireless efforts and hours over the years. On race days, Bob would dress in a different costume, including on one occasion an Arab headdress. He said that he did this to make a point to the riders to take care, and that he was the only clown in attendance. At its peak in the 1980s, the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club only had around 30 members. But Cousins turned the King of the Cross into a community event and drew support from members, his family, other clubs, officials, sponsors, and the media. Bob would come up with the ideas and mention these to club stalwarts like club president Richard Dixon, member Lou Fancher, and others who would make things happen. When Cousins stepped down from his official positions with the club in the mid-80s, the event slowly but noticeably declined until the King of the Cross during that era ended in 1989. Thank you, Bob, for your vision, determination, and dedication to make the King of the Cross such a big success and put the remote Southern Cross on the world map.